Hi guys, it's Chris Rule here, just doing a video regarding starting up a record label. Recently, as of last year, I started up my own record label called Royalty Records. Royalty Records was an idea of mine. I've been sitting on it for a few years now of starting up a record label. The whole concept behind Royalty Records is to help unearthed artists, so people that aren't really big or really popping in the scene, try and get to that next level with their music. So Royalty Records at the moment has, I think, about 20 artists that we're working with regularly. They expand from all types of genres. The record label is open platform, so we don't really sort of sit there and go, okay, we're going to be a house record label or a dubstep or whatever. We really just focus on keeping the records open platform, so they appeal to all people that are interested in music. So the label I started obviously to help out unearthed artists, because I know how hard it can be to get music onto record labels and places like iTunes and stuff like that. So I really just wanted to start it to give people and producers a platform to get their music out to a bigger audience, like, you know, on Spotify and things like that. And I guess I just really wanted to do this video and touch base on a few key points on actually starting the record label and stuff that I experienced when I was starting it up and things I did, and just touch on a few key areas that I think, if you are looking at starting a record label, just to be mindful of, and go from there. So the first one would be find a good distribution company. So if you don't know what a distribution company is, it's a company that helps get your music out onto platforms like and digital stores like Spotify, iTunes, Beatport, Traxsource, etc. So I wish you could just drop music to these digital stores and it would go from there, but because with distribution companies, they do take a percentage of the digital sales that come through the business. So really, these are a vital part in starting up a record label. You need to find a good distribution company, a company that's going to help you get your music out to all the platforms and work with you to help the record label be successful. So that's the number one thing. I've gone through 2 distribution companies. So I guess starting new businesses, you make mistakes and things like that, and I definitely have made some. I guess the first one I went through was a company called Symphonic Distribution. Awesome company, American company. They've got some big brands and labels that they work with. However, I just found that their tools and resources weren't as helpful as the current distribution company I'm with now. Now, back to me making mistakes. So I didn't read through the agreement properly, and I did sign into a 3-year agreement. So I'm still tied in with them on certain digital platforms. That's why I've gone to starting to use like iTunes and stuff instead of Beatport now, just because I'm still tied in with this particular distribution company, and it's hard to get out of the agreement. So that's a mistake I made. So that's why it's really important on finding and trying these distribution companies before you actually lock yourself in with anything. So that was the first one I went through. Now I'm currently with Label Engine, and they are amazing. These guys are phenomenal. They're very, very helpful, super supportive, and they've got amazing tools and resources, especially if you're a brand new label in the industry. So they've got things like promo emailing. They've got things like accounting, all these things that help you understand the record label, and obviously, help manage the profits and digital sales and all that sort of stuff, plus sending out promo and things, which is a huge part of releasing music. So that's the number one point with starting a record label. Number 2, try and find a core base of guys and producers, friends, people, acquaintances, and people that you're familiar with and you associate with on a daily basis to help you start and kind of be like influencers with the label. So at the moment, I've got myself, obviously, and a bunch of other mates that are really good producers that have all released on the label. So that was the foundation of the label last year when we started it. I got a bunch of my mates together and said, hey, look, I'm starting a label and this is what I want to do with it. So, and just having that core group of people just driving the label has been such a big help with track releases and getting known to the public with our releases. So that was really big. Third thing I would say is don't get scared of making mistakes. Like I've gone through, as I said, I've gone through a bunch of distribution companies and probably didn't really realize the enormity of actually starting a record label at the start. So I've gone through so many mistakes already in not even a year. So I guess don't be scared of like making a mistake, and you know, I guess the best thing about being a fresh new record label is that you know, you're not huge, you're not, you know, people aren't relying on you and stuff like that. So there is room for error. So don't be afraid of that. And yeah, really, I guess I just wanted to make this video because I know there is a lot of people out there that are kind of looking at getting into their own record labels and starting their own record labels. And I've seen a lot of producers that are now jumping on and starting their record labels because, you know, at the end of the day, for myself, I can release a song on my record label and I make complete profit out of that, out of that song, versus if I sign it to a bigger label or another label. Yeah, you'll get more exposure because probably they're more popular or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, you're committing to 50% of that, of all digital sales and streaming and everything through the label, because the label usually takes 50%, and everything. So, and you take 50%. So I guess at the end of the day, it was one of my big reasons of jumping on and starting my own record label as well, just to, you know, push my music out on my own record label and make more money off that as well. But also to help guys as well. That was the biggest part. That was my whole driving force on why I wanted to start a record label. I see it so often, producers getting knocked back from big labels because, you know, they don't have like 10,000 followers on SoundCloud or social media or whatever, and these guys are producing phenomenal records, but, you know, no one gives them the time of day because they can't see money in it. And I guess, you know, my whole philosophy on the whole thing and my whole idea on the whole thing is like, I want to help these guys. I want to help unearthed artists, people that need to get their music out. I want to give them a platform so they can do that. And, you know, money will come eventually. You know, all it takes is one of our guys to pop off, and then, you know, everyone sort of jumps on that bandwagon as well. So I hope these tips were helpful, guys. I'm going to start doing these random tips every now and again, just on experiences from my life and my career as a producer and a DJ. And I guess, you know, if you have any suggestions or any videos that you want me to do, just drop them in the comments. And, you know, I'm always on the lookout for different ideas. I've got a whole list of ideas that I want to do every couple of weeks and just do videos like this. But yeah, if you have any questions or any queries about the industry or anything at all, just make sure you drop it in the comments. Sorry. Make sure you drop it in the comments, and that way I can touch base on those particular questions and everything that you want to go through. So hope you have a good day, guys, and I'll see you guys soon.